In fact, no, let's do Arsenal. Walshy, how's your mate Ian Wright these days?
Oh, right, yeah.
That was a mad game for so many reasons. By the way, people look past Matty's 20-yarder in the bottom corner. No, no.
Even Muzzy just said to me, I didn't realise you scored there.
Good goal as well. And by the way, this man once Cruyff turned Marcel Desailly in the 6-yard box, as I recall.
Haven't got any clips of that,
No, we haven't, no, sorry. So that's all you get. You can open your eyes now. Walsh, you were going mad at Ian Wright. Give us I love you, Walshy, short answer on what went on that night. Why did you and Ian Wright just lose your heads with each other?
I always did with him, to be honest with you, and that was a pretty special game. You know, one of the best atmospheres at Filbert Street that I've ever, been involved in. And I played in some very good games, as you all know. And we scored late goals, many late goals in a lot of games. But for some reason, that game was an incredible. The way it started, the way it went. Bergkamp was in a different class for me. He started on my side of the pitch and
overrated.
Yeah, he started on my side of the pitch, and I thought, this guy's turning me. I could tell already. Just he's clever, his mind, his cleverness, his strength, and after about 5 minutes, I just headbutted him on the back of the head, and he walked over to Matt Elliott's side, and it's the best thing I've ever done in football, I can tell you. And and he walked past me. He said, "You're crazy," and I said, "Yeah, I know I am." And as it turned out, you saw what happened. But for me to score, for Matt to score, people forget that Matt Elliott actually got that second goal, and obviously Bergkamp then turned him inside out, I think, and scored that goal. But I can still visualise the corner from Parker, and I came in late, tried to head it down the ball, just mistimed the jump really. I think Spencer Pryor tried to head that at goal really, but not across to me. I'm sure he did, and luckily for me, it just landed nicely, and I wasn't going to miss from there. But Ian Wright gave me verbals for the whole game, like he did in every game, and that's as simple as that. There was nothing untoward in that, no punches, no, and nothing else happened. But we got sanctioned to Lancaster Gate, I think.
And what happened there?
Well, I went down with Martin on the train, if I remember rightly. I think this is true, and he never said a word to me the whole way down. So obviously I knew I was in trouble, and we walked through Soho, I remember, and Ian Wright got out of a chauffeur-driven car. I remember, Martin, as we were going up the steps. But he said to me, did Wright, he said, "If you say nothing, I'll give you a signed shirt." And he sent it, fair play to him. 2 days later, it came through the post at my house, and that was it. It was nothing, and nothing happened, and that was it. But it was a terrific game.
Martin, your recollections?
No, Stevie, absolutely right. The only reason that I didn't speak to Stevie on the way down is because he was talking all the time. I wasn't not wanting to speak to him, I was just listening,
A wonderful night at Filbert Street though, Martin, that 3-3 against Arsenal. We'll move on to the Spurs game, but I think it was 2-1 in the 89th minute, was it, or 90th minute? What a night. Incredible game, really, and just a night game at Filbert Street was really atmospheric, I felt, so did you feel that, Stevie, did you? I thought it was really atmospheric, and obviously against Arsenal as well too, and against Arsene Wenger, who, if the world ended now tomorrow, is a brilliant manager, no question about it. He's just a bit of a twat, and I don't know. Leicester tried to kick us off the pitch. They tried to kick us off the pitch. And I said, no. They didn't try to kick it off the pitch. We played, and they scored goals in the game, and it was terrific. So against Arsenal, it was really brilliant. And to score so late in the proceedings when they thought they had won it, that was the point, because they were complaining to the referee that he had played the extra minute or two. So a great result. And as I say, if ever you pick a game, it's kind of symptomatic of a really good days at Filbert Street. That was it. It was. And the game against Spurs, similarly. Which of the playing staff would like to set this one up? Tags, I'll come to you after.
for the Matty, that.
I know what's coming.
Can I go for a pee, please?
I thought you might have got the drinks in, to be fair.
Before you come to
Do
me.
you actually need to go?
Oh,
Do you?
well, but sat here for an hour and not said a fucking word. Ian,
Go on then, Gerald.
I might as well just fuck off. But I'll be back.
I'm sure you will.
I'll be back. I'm only joking. I am going for a piss.
I know you are. I know
Muzzy,
you are.
do you want to join me? Are you all right?
Muzzy, will you set this one up for us? Because it's going to be... It's going to be a challenge for Martin to speak to this. So there'd been approached for the manager, and it had been relatively well publicised. Leicester fans were fearful that Martin would leave the club, having been so successful. It was Leeds, wasn't it, who came in, and it all kind of built up to this midweek Filbert Street under the lights, as Martin said, crescendo. That as fans, you've seen the signs, you saw them on the tape. Don't go, Martin. How were the players thinking at that time?
Well, Martin never really. Well, he never mentioned it to us. There was all this noise about potential leaving, but it was a game coming up, business as usual. We've got to win the game, get your heads right. There was never ever mention of any nonsense like leaving to go to Leeds. He would never do that. So we went into the game. We needed the 3 points, like we did. And it was one of them games really where Spurs was always a tough game, but you always felt like you had a chance of beating them. They was a good team, but we seemed to have their number a lot of the time. We went and beat them at White Hart Lane a few times, and then on the night there was this atmosphere that was amazing, and I think, like I say, we managed to get the 3 points. I don't think we realised how much and how big and how important it was to the fans, I suppose, because we was in our own little bubble trying to just win a game of football. And that was what Martin was great at. Just keep it, focus on the game. Don't worry about anything else. It's about 3 points.
And Martin, I'll come to you in a moment if you don't mind. Emile, going back to the game, and the goals, a couple of goals, some important goals. Talk me through both of them if you wouldn't mind. Spurs ones.
Spurs. I can remember the one where I span Vega. I think Lenny played it into me, and I had this knack of just when the ball's coming towards me, just letting it run. But I'd use my body against the defender, let it run, spin, and just hit it with my left foot, knowing that as long as I get it on target, half a chance.
And how special was the second goal?
Oh yeah, Muzzy. But again, Muzzy's technique is like that. We've seen it so many times in training, and we know what he's capable of doing. So when the ball's coming out the sky like that, one of the players that you want on the end of that is Muzzy, because you know that he's got the technique to score a goal like that.
As they go, Muzz, was that, as goals go, personal goals go, the win was important. You saw the signs. You all know that everyone wanted Martin to stay. But as finishes, as crisp finishes go, was that your best? Was it one of your best, or was it one of your most important?
Well, it was an important goal for us. We managed to get the 3 points. I remember sort of it coming out, and I just thought, we're going to hit this. I didn't really think twice about it. It's just one of them you put your foot through. Luckily I caught it well, and you try that 100 times you try that 100 times and you don't even hit the target. But luckily for me and the lads, we got the 3 points and it went in.
Gerald!
Hey!
Gerry Taggart, everybody!
Thanks, Ian.
Gerald, what are your memories of that Spurs game? Have you spoken to the manager about this?
Yes, I have, and he's okayed this story. Not great. So yeah, leading into this game, a couple of weeks before I made my full debut against Wimbledon at home, and we drew 1-1. Actually, we conceded from a second phase of a set piece, if memory serves me right.
But I actually started, I actually had a direct assist, a 40-yard diag on the head of Marshall, hit it into the back of the net. And I've just come into the club and didn't know what really to expect from Martin that much, to be honest with you. But I walked off the pitch, and also on the net, I just broken my toe and played on. After about 15, 20 minutes, I broke my toe and I just played on, thinking, right, okay, you know, I've got to make an impression here. I'm trying to replace the great Steve Walsh, you know, bang. And didn't get much feedback. Went to Leeds a week after, said, okay, no problem. Went to Leeds a week, I think we drew or we won away at Leeds a week after. We got a good result, because Leeds were a really, really good team at that time. And I did okay. I was on free kicks, actually. I used to move it to the side, because I had a decent left peg. I mean, we got a result. And then it was international break. And that game was actually on a Monday night, so we had actually 16 days between the Leeds game and the game against Tottenham. But because I had a broken toe, I couldn't train, I couldn't do a lot. I was basically doing a bit of bike work, had an injection before that game on the Monday night, and obviously your fitness levels are gonna drop slightly. So we get to the game, we're in the dressing room, and Martin was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because he would never, ever, and I mean ever, name the team before everybody got in the dressing room. Even though, like, people like Emile was always going to play, because he was, you know, he was shit hot. Muzzy was always going to play. Matty was always going to play. But for people like me who just come into the club, I was always on, you know, on eggshells, on tenterhooks, thinking, am I going to play tonight, or is it going to be Walshy? Anyway, he picked me. And what a great night, spoiled by a first half performance by me, basically. And it was funny, because Martin had this thing about his granny, and it was quite, on this night, it sort of stuck out in my mind, you know. Normally it would have been a sort of a throwaway comment, you know. I remember a game at Chesterfield in the League Cup where he told Elliott to pull himself out of the fucking quagmire because his fucking granny was better, could play better than Elliott. And at half time in this game, he'd come into me and went, and when Martin came in, he came in with a fucking presence. You know, there was no messing about. When he walked through that door, everybody went fucking quiet. I mean, the whole of fucking Leicester went quiet. It just wasn't that dressing room. So he comes walking in, and to be fair, I didn't play that well, but we were winning 2-1 at half time, and the game ended up 2-1, so, you know. So he comes in and he rushes in as he did, and I can see his fucking eyes, back of my fucking head, burning with his eyes, looking at me while I'm staring at the floor. And I'm thinking, please, not me. Please, please, boss, don't have a pop at me, please. And straight a fucking way, he goes, Gerry, pal, what the fuck's up with you? And I'm making all these excuses, saying, well, you know, I've broke my toe, I haven't trained for 2 weeks, I'm just not fucking fit. And he goes, not fucking fit? He says, my fucking granny's fitter than you. Walshy, get warmed up, you're fucking coming on. So I'm like, fuck me, that's it, I'm fucked. I've got a broken toe, I'm not going to play again now until it gets fixed, which I didn't do. So all the lads go out the second half, win the game. Emile, I have to say, like, I'm not saying he made Yapstam look like a pub player on the first game of the season at Man U, but he tore the fucking arsehole out of Yapstam, right? And Sol Campbell was playing that night, and by then was an established England player. And again, I mean, he tore me a new one. He was sensational. And we came in after the game, and I've already got showered and got changed, went out and watched the second half. And as you come in, you know, you have to understand the man, you understand the presence he had in the dressing room. And when he came in, you know, I'm a little bit cheapy, so there's a little bit of a corridor when you walk through the dressing room at Filbert Street, and there's a little corner like you can fucking sort of hide behind, and you can peep around the corner like that and go, yeah, you fucker, you fucking took me off, you wanker. So after the game, he comes in and I'm in my tracksuit, and he's gone round all the players as he did Martin. He was unbelievable. He didn't give a shit how you won as long as you won. And he come in, he's gone round all the players, and he's gone, Walshy, fucking second half. He's obviously having the pop at me, fucking sensational, fucking my captain, Muzzy, fucking hell. Stevie Guppy, fucking Stevie Guppy. He couldn't head, he's free of his own fucking shadow, Stevie fucking Guppy. But he was the fucking son of Martin O'Neill, or the son that Martin O'Neill never fucking had. Right? He'd never fucking drop him. But to be fair to Gups, he was a top player. And then he comes round, and he's going round all the players, and I'm stood round this little corner, fucking carring a bit, and I'm just putting here, you fucking wanker. Fucking hate you. And then he looks over at Emile, and he goes, and you, son, Emile Heskey, you were fucking sensational tonight. And as he walks over, he gets down on his knee. And he goes, now pull your fucking pants down and let me do the fucking business. 1 minute. So, as he's saying this, I'm peeping around my little fucking corner. And I've just sort of had a fucking brainwave, a little moment, and I've said, why don't you get your granny to do that? I bet she gives a great blowjob.
Well,
sorry for ticking you off, boss.
No, I hope that was worth waiting for that hour for Gerry. Honestly. Gerry went to the toilet, not to go to the toilet, but actually to read his script again, you know. Because, excuse me, I didn't...
It's a good one, though.
I don't think I swore as often as Gerry has just mentioned. And the story is complete and utter bollocks as well, too.
It's not.
I did not say that to Emile Heskey. I wouldn't. I just said he was fantastic. And Gerry, you're crap. Yes, that part of the story is probably very, very true. And Gerry complaining in the old Armagh accent, oh, me foot's sore, I've broken me foot. When in actual fact, we went for an x-ray and there was fuck all wrong with his foot. You know. Not a thing. I said to Gerry, we're two Irishmen. No, it's not your foot's broken, it's your head that's broken. That's all. In fairness to Gerry, he was crap. And I said to him, he was having a tough time, and I did pull him into my office one day, and I said to Gerry, it's not working out here. And he said, but you haven't given me a real chance, Gaffer. I said, yes, I have. I've played you for 4 minutes. And he said, just give me a proper chance and I'll prove it. I said, Gerry, I think it's gone beyond that. You're not serious. This is absolutely true. And he said, okay, fine. I said, I will. If you get a chance, you've got to go and do it. And at the end of the season, Taggart won the player of the season. So, well done him. Brilliant.
Martin, can while we're on the subject and just picking up from earlier on, the Don't Go Martin game, I'm sure the fans would be delighted to hear your view, what effect they had, what effect the signs had, the Spurs game at home, your recollections and memories of that.
No, it's really very simple. I love the football club. Where I was, I think that having recovered from a really bad start at the football club, and when the crowd, when the supporters, and I think the lads will know this, when the crowd are, it's all right it's all right having maybe a couple of directors that you have no time for being against you, but when the crowd turn against you, it's very, very difficult to pull that round again. You need the results. And as I said, just after the Sheffield United game, we won 2 matches and we finally got promotion with a group of the lads, and things started to happen for us, and qualifying for European football, all that type of stuff. And Leicester was a great place. I loved it. And I seriously, my wife and daughters loved the time that we were here. So I don't want to sound sycophantic. It was great. And it was, Leeds United were a big club, and it was it would have been difficult to leave. But I thought that we'd started something anyway. And I honestly, and you know what, it was to do with enjoying life. And actually I felt at that time, young Andrew Neville's here tonight, Andrew and Andrew and I, and we felt that, we felt as if we're in control of the football club. I was now, I felt as if I had regained the respect of the crowd, and I felt that this is where we're going, and I thought that, yeah, I genuinely loved it at the football club. And I wouldn't have, even in 2000, I wouldn't have gone for probably any other club other than Celtic, which was kind of in your blood and stuff like this here. That's right. So it was really simple as that. And of course, I think the players had a lot to do with it, because if they're winning matches,
yeah,
and I'm sitting having a cigarette and telling Taggart he's crap, then, which you weren't. You were not. It was just my way of trying to get you motivated.
Before, we've got one more era, as it were, to reflect on. Before we do that, Tags, would you please briefly tell us the story about when you got Savage round the throat? Briefly, what happened, and what did the manager say to you in reaction?
No. Okay. So,
who remembers what I'm talking about? There you go.
Is there an ounce of truth in this story, John?
you weren't the manager when I slapped him, but you did tell a story. So this story has two parts to it. And so I did slap Robbie Savage round the chops on a pitch against Arsenal. But Peter Taylor was the manager at the time when I slapped him. And so that's where I'm going to begin, because this is, again, understanding the man on my left and how he worked as a manager, as a man manager in your psyche. So when Martin left to go to Celtic and Peter Taylor came in, he sort of, I'm not saying he sort of built Robbie Savage up, but he told Robbie Savage that he was a fucking player, basically. That he could play, he was a good player, this, that and the other. And so we're playing Arsenal at Filbert Street. And we were doing well that season, even though we were absolutely fucking shit. We were still doing really well that season.
Briefly, Tag, sorry, briefly. I love you. I love you.
Okay.
I love you.
Briefly. I know it's a long story, but... So Robbie Savage tries to do this. So I'm calling for the ball. I'm saying, Sav, give me the ball. I've got a ball up the channel. I'm just going to play it up the channel, a la, as it was taught from Martin. You've got Heskey. We had Ariak and Bay that day. But I'm still going to play it. So he does this pirouette in front of Patrick Vieira, right? He does one of them fucking pirouettes, which I've never seen him do before or since. So anyway, the ball ends up in the throw-in to fucking Arsenal. I'm saying, Sav, just pass me the fucking ball. I've got a pass on. And he turned around and he went, shut up, you fucking fat Irish twat. So I said, you what? He went, and he was spitting while he was saying, "Fuck all you fucking tank," in his little gay Welsh fucking accent. So I went, fucking hell. I shouldn't have done it, but I just clipped him, right? I just fucking clipped him round the ear hole. I didn't punch him, I just slapped him. So you go back in time 12 months, 18 months. Martin's the manager. And I'm sure we were playing Arsenal at Filbert Street at a different time. And I've got the ball at my feet, and Sav is screaming for the fucking ball. And I'm thinking, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. So I passed him the fucking ball. And he's given the ball away, and Arsenal have gone through, and I think Tim Flowers makes a fucking great save. I think it was Sylvain Wiltord. They hit the post, or Tim Flowers tipped it onto the post, or on the bar, and it went away for a corner. And again, we came in at half time, and unbeknown to me, from my upbringing, it was like, if you give the ball away, you're the first one to go and fucking chase it down. No, I came from Bolton with Colin Todd. He liked to play football. We had a coach at Barnsley called Eric Winstanley, unbelievable coach. So gets in half time, Martin comes in again, everybody's head's on the fucking floor. We're playing Arsenal. You know, it's not going well. I think we got beat 3-0 that day. And first in the door, I'm second on the left. He fucking starts on me, the boss. He goes, "Gerry, pal, how long have you been with me now?" He says, "You can give it to fucking Lenny, Neil Lennon. You can give the ball to fucking Muzzy. Don't give it to fucking Savage. You know he can't play fucking football." And with that, seriously, he said he had another minute in the dressing room and he fucked off out. And Savage always sat next to me on my left, say where Martin is now. And I fucking just turned to him because I got a bollocking for passing him the fucking ball. And I went, "See you fucking little twat." I said, "Do not ever come and ask me for the fucking ball again. Just do what he's fucking telling you to do. Run around and be a fucking nuisance." Remember that?
No. The only thing I'll say before we wrap up is that Gerry's made up for that hour he wasn't speaking, before. So it's a long story. I don't remember. I do remember saying to Robbie one time that he lacked only one thing, and that was ability. But I didn't. The rest of the stories, I'm sorry. Do you remember them, Stevie? Not really.
We have one more.
Please say no.
We have one more era, as it were, to reflect on. So all eyes onto your TV screens. The League Cup final in the year 2000, and one particular successful game.